In the dark, cold space, something moved between the dying stars. A weak, broken ship floated, sending a signal again and again. No one in the universe seemed to hear it until it reached Earth. Dr. Mira Khan, a young scientist, was working the night shift in the deep space listening station. It was a quiet night, with only the soft hum of computers around her. She was half asleep when her console suddenly beeped. A strange signal had arrived. It was not normal, not like any radio. Waves they usually caught from far planets. This was different. This was a cry. Mira leaned closer, putting on her headphones. The signal was full of strange patterns, almost like music, but sad and broken. Then came a voice. It was high and shaking, speaking a language Mira did not understand, but it sounded scared. She called her team. Soon other scientists gathered, trying to decode it. Hours passed, and the message slowly made sense. Images showed up on the big screen, pictures of a strange alien race. They looked like tall, thin humans, with blue skin and big, sad eyes. They showed their homes burning, their children crying. Then the message turned darker. The aliens showed a monster. Huge, black, with many claws and no face. It hunted them in their cities. It burned their world. Their children screamed while running from it. And the final word the aliens sent was clear, in perfect human English: run. The scientists fell silent. One of them, Dr. Lee, broke the silence. Is this real? It's a warning? Myra looked at the images again. She could see a small alien child, looking right into the camera, tears on his blue face. That face was burned into her mind. She knew these aliens were desperate, begging for help. But the word run made everything confusing. Did they want help, or were they trying to save humans from the same monster? No. The world's leaders were contacted right away. A secret meeting was held in Geneva. Generals, politicians, and scientists sat together to talk. Some wanted to help the aliens. Some wanted to ignore them. Some were scared that if humans tried to help, the monster would follow them to Earth. While they argued, another message came from the alien ship. This one was shorter, more broken, with only one small image. It showed the alien child again, this time holding a sign in human writing. Please save us. Wait. Mira's heart hurt when she saw it. She stood up and told, "The room, if we do nothing, we will let children die. We cannot let that happen." The general still hesitated, but the world leaders finally agreed. Earth would send a rescue ship, a small crew carrying food, water, and medicine. Their mission, to help the alien survivors. Captain Zayn Malik, a brave young soldier, was chosen to lead this rescue team. His ship, the Hope, was ready within days. Scientists filled the cargo with emergency supplies. Doctors volunteered to join the mission, but there was a deep fear no one spoke about. What if that monster was waiting for them? On launch day, Mira went to see Captain Zayn. She gave him a small recording. "This is the alien language we have decoded," she explained. "Maybe you can talk to them." Zayn nodded. His eyes were strong, but she could see the worry in them. "We will bring them home," he promised. As the ship lifted from Earth, thousands of people watched on big screens. Some cheered, but some prayed. The Hope climbed higher and higher into the black night sky. A week later, the rescue ship crossed the edge of the solar system. The alien planet was not far now. From the ship's window, the crew could see a dying sun, glowing red and broken. Around it, pieces of ruined ships floated like bones. They all fell silent. This was the place from the message. In the darkness, something moved between the wreckage. Zayn stared, trying to focus. It was fast, crawling over a broken alien ship, then disappearing. "What was that?" one soldier asked. Zayn did not answer. His hand touched the gun on his belt. As they came closer to the planet, their scanners found no healthy life. Almost everyone was dead. But deep below the city ruins, small signals appeared. Maybe survivors. Zayn ordered the team to get ready. They would land, find the children, and bring them back. The ship descended, fire blazing from its engines. As they crossed the sky of the alien world, they saw giant burned buildings, melted from some great fire. Roads full of skeletons. Empty eyes looking up as if still screaming. The rescue team felt their courage slipping. What had killed them all? Then, as the Hope landed, the radio picked up one last alien voice. "It is still here." Everyone froze. Something heavy moved outside just beyond the ship's lights. It was big, silent, and watching them. Captain Zane took a deep breath. "Stay sharp," he ordered. "This is not over." Far away on Earth, Mira watched from her command center. She felt fear fill her chest. She realized the truth. Maybe this was not a rescue mission. Maybe this was a trap. The Hope landed on the alien planet with a loud hiss of steam. The ground was black and broken, covered with deep cracks and burned metal. The sky was gray, full of smoke that smelled like old fire. Captain Zane stepped out first. His boots crunched on the burned soil. Around him, giant alien buildings stood like skeletons, half melted by terrible heat. Shadows danced between the ruins. He raised his hand. "Stay close," he told his team. "We get the children, then we leave." Suddenly a sound echoed through the streets. A loud, horrible screech like metal twisting in pain. Everyone turned. To look, weapons ready, nothing moved. Private Aisha, the medic, looked scared. "Captain," she said softly, "I have a bad feeling." Zane nodded. He had the same feeling. They followed their scanner, which showed weak life signals underground. They climbed down into the ruined subway tunnels. The darkness was thick, and the smell was worse, like dead things left for weeks. Flashlights cut through the black. In the far corner, they saw a small group huddled together. Thin, blue-skinned children, eyes wide and full of fear, stared at them. Zane stepped forward slowly. "We are here to help," he said. One small boy looked up, tears running down his blue cheeks. "He came," he whispered in broken English. Aisha knelt beside him. "We're safe now," she promised. But the boy only shook his head. "No," he said, pointing to the shadows. "It comes." Before they could ask more, the ground shook hard, making dust fall from the ceiling. A huge shape moved in the tunnel, too big for their flashlights to see clearly. Captain Zane lifted his gun. "Everyone, get behind me." The creature stepped forward, just a little into the light. It was tall, with many sharp claws, and no face at all, just a black hole where a face should be. Its skin looked like moving oil. The children screamed. Zane fired, but the bullets did nothing. The creature moved like smoke, shifting around the bullets and sliding back into the darkness. "It is hunting," whispered the alien boy. "It waits until you are scared." The team pulled the children up the old subway stairs. Every step, they heard the creature behind them, clicking its claws on the broken concrete. At the surface, they ran toward the ship. The Hope stood with its lights shining bright, like a lighthouse in a storm. The ramp opened, and the team pushed the children inside. Just as the last kid got on board, the monster appeared at the edge of the light. Its body stretched and twisted, smelling the air. Zane aimed his gun again. "Stay back." The creature tilted its head, then slowly copied Zane's own voice. In perfect human language, "Stay back," it laughed, a horrible broken laugh, then melted back into the dark. Zane slammed the ramp shut. "Lift off." He shouted to the pilot. The Hope rose into the air, fire burning from its engines. Lo! The creature watched them go, then turned away, sliding into the ruined city again. Inside the ship, the children cried softly. One girl grabbed Zane's hand. "It will follow," she said. He looked at her. "What is it?" She shook her head. "It has no name. We call it the Fear Eater." Zane felt a chill in his bones. In the medical bay, Aisha gave water to the children and checked their injuries. Mira, back on Earth, spoke over the radio. "Captain, did you get them?" "Yes," Zane answered, voice tight, "but there is something else here, something terrible." Myra sounded worried. "Bring them home quickly." As the ship turned for Earth, everyone tried to rest, but Zane could not sleep. He looked at the alien kids, so thin and broken. I promised himself he would keep them safe. Hours later, alarms started to beep. The ship's sensors showed something strange. A heat signature in the cargo bay, moving slowly. Zane grabbed his weapon and went to check. The cargo bay was dark, only emergency lights blinking red. He stepped forward carefully, heart pounding. A small voice echoed from the corner. "Captain." Zane, he froze. That was Private Jamal's voice. But Jamal had died back on the alien planet. "Jamal," he whispered. The voice answered exactly like his old friend. "Help me." Zane turned the corner and saw nothing. Just empty boxes. Then he heard claws, scratching on metal above his head. He aimed up, hands shaking. The creature was there, hanging from the ceiling, its claws spread wide, eyes like empty holes. It smiled with no mouth. "Help me," it repeated. In Jamal's voice, Zane fired. Sparks flew as bullets hit the steel. The creature slipped away into a vent, laughing like a child. Zane fell to his knees, breathing hard. It was on board. He pressed his radio. "Command," he gasped. "The monster is here? It came with us." Far away, Mira listened, her blood running cold. The Hope moved through silent space, flying fast toward Earth. Inside, fear crawled like poison. The monster was on board. The crew did not know where it hid, but they felt it watching them. Captain Zane tried to stay calm. His team was tired, their eyes hollow. The alien children sat close together, shivering. Sometimes they whispered in their own language, pointing at the walls as if they saw something. The ship's lights flickered again and again. Strange sounds echoed in the hallways, metal tapping like claws. Aisha checked the kids for wounds, but most of them were just scared. One small girl, blue-skinned with wide eyes, held tight to Ayes's arm. "Is it gone?" the girl asked. Aisha sighed. "We don't know." Then the ship shook. Alarms screamed. "We have an engine problem." Zane ran to the control room. "Report." One of the ship's engines was overheating, failing fast. "If we don't fix it, we'll burn up." Zane felt cold sweat on his neck. The monster was doing this. Grabbed tools and ran to the engine room. Pipes hissed with steam, the temperature rising. He could barely see through the smoke. A voice spoke in the steam. "Captain Zane." He froze. It was Mira's voice, but Mira was safe on Earth. "Zane, help me," the voice repeated. His heart raced. Nothing there. Then, from the shadows, the creature stepped forward. Was tall, covered in black. Oil-like skin, claws dripping with slime. The creature moved closer, copying Mira's voice again. "Stay back," he fired. But the monster melted away, disappearing into a vent with a horrible laugh. The engine alarm kept screaming. Zane ran forward, using every bit of courage he had. He opened the hot panel, burning his hands, and shut down the failing system manually. Sparks hit his face. To the floor, breathing hard. The monster was trying to break their minds. It wanted them to fear, to lose hope. He would not let that happen. The next day, the children were moved to a safer room. The crew placed metal bars over the doors. They took turns guarding the kids, but no one could sleep. Private Bilal stood, guard alone late at night. He heard a soft tapping at the door. "Who's there?" No answer. Then, from behind him, he heard his dead brother's voice, "Bilal, why did you leave me?" Bilal turned fast, eyes wide. There was nothing there. Just darkness. His hands shook. "Bilal," the voice said again, closer now. He saw movement in the vents above. Two empty white eyes stared down at him. He screamed and fired his weapon, hitting only pipes and steel. The monster slipped away again, laughing like a child. Zane gathered his crew for a meeting. "This thing plays with our minds," he told them. "It copies voices, memories, fears. That is its weapon."
Ow.
One alien boy, sitting on the floor, raised his hand. "Captain," he said softly, "it came to our world the same way. It eats fear. It grows stronger when you are scared." Zane nodded. "Then we must not fear it." But the alien child shook his head. "That is impossible," he whispered. "It is fear." That night, the ship's power failed again. All the lights went out. "Stay together. Do not move alone," she cried. No one answered. Zane's heart sank. Find him now. In the lower cargo hold, they finally saw him standing alone in a cold, dark corner, eyes empty, mouth open. "Little one," Aisha called. "Come here." The boy did not answer. Zane stepped closer. Behind the boy, a black shadow rose, long claws reaching, pulling him backward. The boy's face twisted in terror. "Captain!" he screamed. Zane lunged forward and grabbed the boy's arm, pulling. With all his strength, the monster hissed, letting go just long enough for Zane to yank the child free. They ran, hearts pounding as the monster crashed through boxes behind them. They slammed the doors shut and locked them. The boy cried, shaking all over. "It wanted me," he sobbed. It wanted to be inside me." Zane felt ice in his veins. "Are almost home." Zane looked around at his terrified crew, the alien children, and the shaking ship. He spoke into the radio, his voice steady but full of dread. "Mira," he said, "we are bringing it with us." The Hope came closer to Earth, its engines shaking with stress. Everyone inside felt the fear grow stronger. The alien children were silent now, their eyes fixed on the floor. Captain Zane watched them, feeling their pain. He knew they were remembering how their families died, but he also knew something worse was about to happen, because the monster was still on board. They had locked it behind the cargo doors, but the metal walls shook every few minutes. The thing was testing the locks, scratching them with its claws, waiting for the right time to escape. Zane checked his gun. Mira's voice was calm but tense. "We will be ready." 5 to 7 minute hook. As the Hope began landing, alarms screamed again. "Perfect English, help me." Zane turned, seeing the monster crawling forward on the walls like a spider, its claws digging into steel. Its empty white eyes glowed with a strange light. He shouted to his team, "Defend the kids! Get them off the ship!" The soldiers fired, bullets bouncing off the walls. The creature moved too fast, slashing a soldier and vanishing back into the vents. The ship touched down on Earth with a hard crash. Doors burst open, security teams running in with gas masks and heavy weapons. But everything went silent. The monster was hiding again. Plot Zane carried 2 alien children out onto the landing platform. He could see Earth's blue sky for the first time in weeks, but it did not feel safe anymore. Security teams began scanning the kids, taking them to medical tents one by one. Doctors moved fast, checking for infections or wounds. But then, a scream. Zane spun around. One of the soldiers had been ripped open, his armor torn like paper. Blood sprayed across the landing zone. Everyone froze. In the middle of the quarantine tent stood the creature, taller than ever, dripping black liquid. Its claws were longer now, its eyes brighter. It had fed on their fear during the journey. Security fired again, but the bullet seemed to pass through the monsters. Black skin. The alien kids huddled together, trying to stay calm. Aisha pulled them behind a metal wall. It jumped, from shadow to shadow, tearing down lights, creating darkness everywhere. Zane grabbed a flash grenade and threw it. The bright white light exploded, making the monster stagger for a second. In that brief moment, Zane saw its true shape, an empty shell, filled with something like black smoke. "It is not alive," Aisha whispered beside him. Regrouped in the command tent, Mira arrived looking tired but strong. "Captain," she said, "we must kill it now. If it escapes the base, it will destroy cities." Zane nodded. "We need a plan." The alien children stepped forward. One of them, the small boy from before, spoke up. "We know how to hurt it," he said in a tiny voice. Zane listened carefully. The boy explained, "It cannot stand pure courage. When no one fears it, it becomes weak." Zane frowned. "How can we make people brave?" The boy shrugged. They spread messages on loudspeakers. "Stay. Do not fear. You are stronger." It was not easy. And the creature grabbed him in one quick slash. Zane watched in horror. They had to finish this. Zane made a plan. You must help me, he said. Be brave. It will come for you. Boy nodded, tears on his face. I will try. They moved to the lab. The boy stood in the center of the room alone, his small voice calling out, I am not afraid of you. The monster crashed through the wall, claws wide, moving fast. It roared, 1,000 voices screaming together. Zane hit the switch, blinding. White light filled the room. The monster twisted in pain, smoke ripping off its body. It screamed with no mouth, falling to its knees. For the first time, it looked small. Zane raised his gun, took a deep breath, fired one last shot right into its chest. The monster exploded into black mist, then vanished like ash in the wind. Everyone was silent. The alien boy fell to the floor, shaking but alive. Zane picked him up. You were very brave, he said. Outside the base was calm again. The children were safe. The monster was gone, for now. The Hope stood silent on the landing pad, its doors wide open. Soldiers guarded every exit, scanning for any sign of danger. The alien children sat close together, still afraid to breathe freely. Zane felt the relief of Earth's air, but also a deep worry. The monster was gone, yet its memory stayed behind. Crawling through everyone's thoughts like poison, Mira met him on the edge of the landing zone. Captain, she said, you did well. We saved these children. Nay nodded, but his eyes stayed hard. We brought fear to Earth, Mira, he answered. This isn't over. 5 to 7 minute HFY rescue team began moving the children to a quarantine shelter, a safe place far from the city. Aisha helped a small alien girl stand up. The girl's blue skin was pale, her eyes empty. Suddenly the girl froze. Her tiny hand pointed behind Aisha, and she whispered, It follows. Aisha turned fast but saw nothing, just shadows. Then a strange voice echoed through the radio headset on a guard's belt, Help me. It was the exact voice of a dead soldier who fell on the alien planet. The guard dropped his gun, shaking, backed away from the group, staring into the darkness. Zane shouted, Stay with us. But it was too late. Out of the night, something moved, a shape faster than any human. I could follow. The guard screamed once before being pulled into the blackness. Plot panic exploded in the base. Soldiers opened fire at shadows, searching for the monster but found nothing. Mira grabbed Zane's arm. How can it still be here? Zane's mind raced. Maybe a piece of it hid inside one of the children. We have to check them. He ordered security to scan every child, but the equipment showed nothing. No infection. No trace of alien life. Still, they felt it. A cold presence. Hiding, waiting at night. The children were locked inside a steel quarantine shelter. Soldiers stood guard, weapons ready. Zane stayed awake, walking the halls, checking every shadow. In the middle of the night, a power failure hit the base. All lights went dark one by one. Alarms failed. Only silence stayed behind, from the speakers above. A voice played, soft and broken. I am here. Zane's blood froze. He ran to the children's shelter, breaking open the door. All the kids were safe, except one. A small boy was missing. Zane felt his heart break. Not again, he whispered. They searched every hallway, every dark corner. Finally, in the storage area, they found the boy standing alone. He faced the wall, eyes blank, mouth moving silently. Son, Zane called softly, come to me. The boy did not move. Behind him, something long and black slid out from under the crates, wrapping around his small body like a snake. The boy's head turned toward Zane. In a voice that was not his own, he spoke. You cannot kill fear. The monster's claws grew from the shadows. Lifting the boy into the air, Zane charged forward, grabbing the boy's arms, trying to pull him away. The monster roared, its mouthless face twisting with rage. Aisha and Mira arrived with bright spotlights. Shining them straight at the creature, it screamed, dropping the boy. Zane caught him before he hit the floor. The lights burned into the monster's oily skin. Making it stumble back, Zane shouted, Don't let it touch the children again. The soldiers focused their lights, pushing the monster into a corner. But the creature laughed, copying 1,000 human voices at once. You brought me home. It smashed through the wall and escaped into the night, outside the base. City lights burned bright in the distance. The monster crawled toward them, Mira put her hands on her head, breathing fast. It's going for the cities. Zane looked at his team, then at the children. We have to stop it before it reaches innocent people, Aisha asked. How? It cannot die? Zane clenched his fists. What? Maybe it cannot die, but we can trap it. They made a quick plan. A military transport was loaded with giant floodlights and high-frequency speakers. They would chase the monster, surround it with light, weaken it so it could not run. Zane chose a small team, leaving Aisha to guard the kids. He climbed into the truck, checked his weapon, and took a deep breath. We end this tonight, he told Mira on the radio. The convoy sped through the night. Following the monster's heat trail, in the city, people were already panicking, running from shadows. Streetlights flickered off, and the smell of fear grew stronger. The monster grew taller, feeding on the panic. Its claws tearing through buildings like they were made of paper. Zane saw it from far away, a huge black shadow crawling over. Hospital, ready to attack. He lifted his radio, all lights on target. Now. Floodlights blasted the monster, burning its smoky body with white fire. It screamed, stumbling down the side of the building. Speakers blared a strong message. You cannot break us. We are not afraid. For a moment the monster paused, shrinking. Zane jumped from the truck, charging forward with a shock weapon. He fired the electric blast right into its chest. The monster fell, twitching. Zane shouted to his team, "Lock it down." Metal nets slammed over the creature, holding it still. It was trapped. For now, but as it lay there, it whispered in a voice that was both alien and human. Others will come. Zane felt cold dread. This was only one monster. What else was out there, waiting? The monster was locked under the steel nets, its black smoke twisting in the floodlights. Soldiers surrounded it, weapons aimed and ready. But even now it whispered. Through 100 voices trying to scare them, "I will never die," it hissed. Captain Zane refused to listen. He checked the locks again, making sure the nets held strong. Mira stood beside him, her face pale. "How long can we keep it trapped?" Zane sighed. "Not long enough." 5 to 7 minute hooks. Suddenly alarms screamed across the base. The screen showed something terrible. Other shapes, dozens of them. Moving through the dark city, the cameras shook as giant shadows crawled over skyscrapers, claws slicing steel, mouths full of stolen voices. One of the voices played through the radio, cold and terrifying. "We have come." Zane stared in shock. "There are more?" The alien children screamed as they saw the footage. One boy cried, "That is how it began on our world." Earth was no longer safe. Plot: the monsters spread fast. They moved through the city, feeding on human fear. The more people panicked, the bigger the shadows grew. Fires started, cars crashed. The police could not stop them. At the base, Zane looked at his team. "We have to fight back before it's too late," Myra agreed. "But how? Bullets do nothing." Then, the alien children stepped forward. A small girl with silver eyes spoke. "Our people once built a weapon. It was not finished. But you humans, you could finish it." Zane listened carefully. "What kind of weapon?" the girl answered. "It uses light and sound together. Pure hope. It makes the monsters weaker." Zane nodded. "Show me how." In the lab, engineers worked fast, building huge floodlight systems connected to high-frequency speakers. Zane called them hope cannons. The children explained how to tune the frequency so that the monsters would feel pain instead of feeding on fear. Soldiers tested the new weapons, aiming giant beams of white light across the night. Outside, the city was chaos. People ran in every direction. The monsters chased them, growing stronger. One creature, as big as a skyscraper, smashed through a bridge. Roaring in 1,000 stolen voices, Zane and his team drove straight toward it with their hope cannon mounted on a truck. He aimed the floodlight. Fire! The beam shot out, blinding white. The monster screamed, black smoke peeling off its body. It stumbled backward, smaller, weaker. A second truck came in from the other side, blasting the monster with high-frequency hope sounds. The creature howled in pain, trying to run away. Zane shouted, "Push it back. Do not fear." For the first time, people in the city saw the monsters could be hurt. They stopped running. They stood up together, yelling in strong voices, "We are not afraid." The monsters shrank even faster. Their stolen voices faded. All night, the humans fought side by side with the alien children. Teams moved through the city, blasting light and hope sounds, rescuing trapped families. Zane led the main force, never stopping. His voice came through every speaker. "Do not let fear win. We fight together." But then a new danger came. One of the monsters, much bigger than the rest, appeared near the city power station. If it destroyed that, the whole city would lose light and the monsters would become unstoppable. Zane saw it on the screen. "This is it," he told Mira. "We stop it here." They gathered every working hope cannon and raced to the power station. The monster stood taller than any building, covered in black fire. Its claws looked like knives of darkness. It turned toward them, laughing with the voices of a million lost souls. "You cannot stop fear." Zane felt a chill, but he refused to give in. He ordered the floodlights aimed. Fire. Beams of white light slammed into the creature, burning away its black skin. The speakers roared a wave of pure hope across the night sky. The monster shrieked. Twisting in agony, it tried to strike back, but the alien children joined in, standing side by side, singing in their soft language of peace. Their song grew louder, mixing with the human hope sounds, making something stronger than fear. Zane saw the monster shrink. Falling to its knees, he ran forward with a special shock rifle. Firing into its heart, the creature exploded in a storm of black mist. The city lights stayed on. Silence followed. The other monsters, seeing their leader fall, began to fade away, melting back into the night. People cheered. Soldiers raised their fists in victory. Zane fell to the ground, exhausted but alive. Mira knelt next to him. "You did it," she whispered. Zane shook his head. "No, we all did it." The sun rose over the broken city, lighting up burned buildings and empty streets. Soldiers cleaned away rubble, helping survivors stand again. The monsters were gone, but fear still hung in the air like a cold mist. Captain Zane stood on the base's wall, looking across the smoking skyline. The alien children stood near him, quiet, eyes full of worry. He knew it was not truly over. 5 to 7 minute hook suddenly. The radio crackled with a new message. Mira ran to the console. Reading the strange letters on the screen, "It's another signal," she gasped. Zane looked over her shoulder. The signal was strong, steady, and repeated only one word: "Judge." The air seemed to freeze around them. The alien boy next to Zane whispered, "That word means death in our language." A cold chill ran down everyone's spine. Plot Earth scientists tried to decode the new signal. They learned it was coming from deep space, much deeper than before. Far beyond any star humans had explored, it was huge, powerful, and getting closer. The alien children recognized the pattern. "That is not a monster," the small girl said quietly. "That is their master." Zane took a deep breath. "You mean there is something even worse?" The girl nodded. "Controls them all. It judges who must live or die." Military leaders across Earth panicked. Should they launch nuclear missiles? Should they hide underground? But Zane stood tall. "We fight. We do not run." The alien children agreed. "This time, we will stand with you." The scientists worked fast, building a final defense, a giant network of hope cannons, connecting every city. It's creating a huge wall of light and sound around the planet. They called it the Shield of Courage. Mira helped tune the frequencies. "It has to be perfect," she told Zane. "If even one city fails, the shield will break." Zane nodded. "Then no city will fail." One night later, the ground began to shake. Far above Earth, something massive moved through space, blocking the stars. Its shape was impossible, shifting like smoke and metal at once. Thousands of claws, thousands of eyes, staring down at the planet. It spoke, its voice booming across every radio on Earth. You saved them. Now you will answer for their crimes. Zane clenched his fists. We will answer with our courage. The alien master sent down a wave of new monsters, bigger and darker than the first ones. They rained across the planet like a black storm. Zane shouted, "Activate the shield!" Every city switched on their hope cannons. Beams of pure white light shot up into the night sky, forming a glowing cage around Earth. The new monsters crashed into the shield, screaming as the hope sounds burned them away. But the alien master was too strong. It pushed against the light, making the shield crackle. Its claws stabbed through the barrier, trying to break through. Zane refused to back down. He called the alien children to him. "Sing with us again," he begged. They joined hands, their voices rising in a brave song. Humans joined them, filling the radios, the streets, the air itself with courage. The song mixed with the hope sounds, growing stronger, like a giant heartbeat. Of bravery, the alien master roared in rage. It crashed against the shield one last time, and the wall of light flared bright, exploding outward with the power of every human and every alien child's courage combined. A massive wave of light and sound slammed into the alien master. It howled, its claws melting, its body twisting into dust. One last voice echoed from its dying heart. "You cannot escape judgment." Then it vanished, lost to the stars. Silence covered the earth. The hope shield flickered, then stayed steady, shining like a promise. People cheered, hugging each other, crying in relief. The alien children smiled for the first time since their world burned. Zane looked around, proud of every human and every child. Later, Mira spoke quietly as they watched the sunrise. "Do you think more will come?" Zane nodded. "Maybe. But now they know one thing." Mira tilted her head. "What is that?" Zane smiled. "That Earth will never bow to fear." The alien boy stood at Zane's side. "Will you help rebuild our home, Captain?" Zane placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Yes," he said. Together. Far above the stars were peaceful again, silent. But Earth was ready if monsters came again. It would find no easy prey, because the humans and their new alien friends had learned the final answer: courage is stronger than fear.